Hey everyone!
Hi guys. We're haven't taken forever to get you the next video because we wanted to give you guys good news, right?
Yeah, super good news. I'm feeling a lot better. The last couple of weeks, it looks like we've made a turn, and I'm feeling much better. Since the hospital back in the beginning of January, I've gained 14 pounds, so I've gone from 124 to 140. I'm still way underweight.
You said 16 pounds.
I said 16 pounds, right? So I've gained 16 pounds.
Yeah.
Still way underweight. I still need to get up to about 160 to be at a reasonable weight for my build. Lost a lot of strength during that time, though. Interesting enough, before all this started, I could do in 1 minute with my personal trainer. I think I could do 40 something push-ups in 1 minute. And now we were texting. I was texting with Sean Millhouse, who is amazing. Actually, we'll attach a link to this video if you want to call Sean his personal trainer, because he's amazing. He said we were texting because he's kind of putting me on a path right now to kind of getting me to a point where I can go to him again and actually start really exercising with him. So he has me doing some things, and so I've been doing those things. I've been on the elliptical every day for 3 minutes at a time, just not even on a high setting. I couldn't, I just getting some exercise and kind of walking up the stairs up and down, but no like any kind of strength training at all. He goes, well, I'd love to see you doing some push-ups. How many push-ups can you do? And I didn't know how many push-ups I could do. So I got on the ground and I couldn't do a push-up. I couldn't do one push-up. I could do 3 push-ups on my knees. And so that's what I'm doing. I do 3 sets of 3 push-ups, couple 3 times a day, and I get on the elliptical, and that's where I'm at. Walk up and down the stairs, and I am getting stronger from doing all that. I no longer have to use the banister to walk up the stairs. I can walk up on my own.
So where he was like way down here, now he's starting to come back
I still
up.
need to be way up here, but I'm starting to come back up, and I feel stronger. My stomach has calmed.
So, well, the good news is that on January 25th, 13 days ago, he started back on the chemo pill. So that's like a big deal. Kind of that's what we've been like trying to get to that point, because he was actually off of it for 7 months.
So let's review. When I was on it, once we realized the immunotherapy probably wasn't working, that's when my doctor put me on the chemo pills. And that was a tough day when we went to the doctor, and he looked at us and said, I don't think the immunotherapy is working, because after everything it's done to me, trying to kill me, you would have thought that it was also going to attack the part of my body that we needed it to attack. Never did. In fact, it just grew bigger. The tumor grew bigger while I was on immunotherapy. And so went on the chemo, stayed on it for 10 days. It was only 10 days. And my tumor had shrunk 60 to 70% in 2 days. It was significant what it had shrunk to. So once I got off of it.
Yeah, then when you were off of it for 7 months, it grew.
A couple months I was off of it.
I said 7 months.
A month and a half.
7 weeks.
7 weeks, yeah.
Then it grew back up to about the size of a golf ball.
Yeah.
And the good news is, what size is it now?
About the size of a penny, right? So it just continues to shrink. It seems like the shrinking rate is slowing down just a little bit, which is what we kind of expected. As it gets smaller and smaller, it's probably going to slow down. But if it continues to shrink at any nominal rate that it's been doing, even if it's half as much, it's going to be gone. It'll disappear to nothing in the next 2 to 3 weeks.
So we're super happy about the progress. And so now, I think if I were you guys, I would want to know, how has he been feeling on the chemo pill?
Better, right? It's one of the reasons why I'm feeling better. It made me really nervous, right? At first, because of my colon from the colitis had not fully healed, right? It hadn't fully healed when I started the chemo, but we knew we needed to start because it was definitely growing again, right? We could feel it starting to grow at an accelerated rate. We were measuring it, and it was growing. And so we were like, we got to get back on this. I'm not 100% yet. I wasn't even 90%. I was still hurting, and there was still things going on with my colon that was kind of wigging me out, but we knew we needed to start. So I started and felt good for a few days, and then I started getting stomachy again, and that made me nervous. I've had to reach out to the doctor a couple times saying I'm getting kind of scared that something may happen again. I'm going to go into a colitis attack.
But overall, it didn't go past a few days.
A couple of days of discomfort and
really bad.
Yeah, I've had bad days, but they haven't been catastrophic. And I sleep better. Just being able to sleep is
half the battle.
Is half the battle. Calming my stomach.
So he sleeps full nights, but then he'll even like sleep for a couple hours during the day too.
Yep.
So it's
So
great
I'm getting
that he's tired.
7 to 10 hours of sleep.
He's tired a lot, but that's okay. And he sleeps.
Yeah, that's probably the biggest side effect. Is I get a little stomachy.
Yeah.
I should say a little stomachy, but very, very bloaty. I'm always bloated. I have gas all the time.
Aren't you guys glad you get to know
This
all
is TMI, but I'm telling you, you're really lucky not to be in our house, because between the burping and the farting all day long, I feel really, really bad for my family.
But
like, it is constant.
Bowel movements are super good.
Yeah, again, like, TMI, but yeah.
It's good.
Every time
Such
I sit on the toilet, it's a celebration. Every time when I have firm poop come out of me, I can feel it plop in instead of leak in like water.
That's good. So that's
celebration
how
every time.
Chemo pill has been so far. And so now to look ahead, what are we looking forward to? Surgery is for sure happening. Yeah. It's imminent.
Yeah, imminent.
And so actually this week, Matt's going to be meeting with a surgeon. We do want to get a second opinion as well. The plan is we're hoping to get an MRI really quickly so that they can find kind of the center of the mass. Because if it shrinks too quickly or too fast and we don't find that, they might be...
Makes it more difficult for the surgeon to extract and see where that center part is, so that they can see, okay, here's the tumor, I just removed it, and now I got to remove this around it to clean margins, right? So that we're making sure. It can make that more difficult if they can't see anything to know where the center of that was. So we want to get an MRI so that they can essentially triangulate, right, that center point, so that when he goes in, if it has disappeared by the time we actually schedule the surgery, which it very well could, which what my doctor thinks is going to happen, then he'll know what to do, so that if he needs to pull out this much of my tissue, right, just to make sure that they've gotten everything, instead of, he's coming here right in the center instead of here, right? We want him being right in the center of that. That's important. It's a good problem to have. As someone said yesterday, that's a first world problem when it comes to the situation for us to be concerned about this. But we are concerned about it.
Then we're going to just be super, what's the word I'm looking, just fight for ourselves.
We have to advocate.
Push it along.
If you don't advocate we have learned in the last 5 months that if you do not advocate for yourself when you have a serious disease, if you don't remind, if you don't interrupt, if you don't put your toe in the door, things can fall apart real quick, because they're dealing with hundreds of people, and they forget things, they forget details. Doctors and surgeons, they forget details. They do.
So if any of you guys are going through hard things like this,
advocate for yourself. Don't 100%, even if you have a great doctor, don't 100%
think they've got you.
Yeah, don't just trust that they have you. You need to remind them. When things come up and you're like, hey, this doesn't seem right, question that. There's been plenty of times where we've done that, and it has changed the trajectory, the direction that we're going. There's been things that we brought up, and they're like, oh yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, we need to be doing this. So you need to advocate for yourself, and that's what we've done. I called my surgeon on Friday on his vacation, and I knew he was on his vacation. I texted him, I didn't call him. And he hadn't heard from me in 5 months. And I texted him anyway, and I knew he was on vacation. I was like, we're concerned about you not being able to see this anymore. And he got back to me, told me he was on vacation, but told me, okay, I'll talk to the doctor on Monday instead of him talking to the doctor on Wednesday, what it would have been, because we're meeting on Tuesday. So we advocated for ourselves, and now he's going to talk to Dr. John right when he needs to, and we'll be able to, he's advocating for me, because I advocated for myself. Anyway.
So we don't want to keep you much longer.
No.
We're trying to keep these videos shorter.
Things are going well. I'm sleeping a lot better. There are other reasons that I'm sleeping really, really good. If you want to know those more personal details about why my sleep is going good, please reach out to me or Mindy through Messenger, and we're willing to share some of these personal experiences and things we're doing to make it to where I've actually been able to sleep and calm down my stomach in amazing, miraculous ways. But there are things that we probably would just rather share personally instead of over this. And so give us a call or reach out to us. We'd be more than willing to share that.
So I just have one other thing to share. It's just some musings that I've had this morning about change. So I was just being really contemplative of okay, Matt and I are going through this challenge, but will Matt and I go through this challenge everlastingly changed or unchanged? So this is my journal that I'm writing in. And I said, what would a changed Mindy look like? What would a changed Mindy do? can one event change someone forever, or does it take a daily recommitment? And so like I've just been like really thinking about this, because I just don't want to squander this circumstance, this opportunity for growth. But I actually think that it needs to be intentional. I think my answers to those questions are like, I don't just have a husband that has cancer and then I'm like forever changed on this amazing person afterwards. Like, I think that it takes me intentionally saying, what do I want to hold on forever? What do I not want to forget? And then how do I not forget that? What kind of daily actions do I take, or daily mantras do I say? Or so something to think about for those of you, because we have so many of our friends that we love that are going through really hard things too. And like, I just want to like think in this with you of how can we stay a changed person after the hard is done?
When Mindy brought this up to me, it's something that I've been thinking about, and it's something that I'm so glad she brings it up purposefully, because, you know, when I was at my worst for like, what was it, 8 weeks? Was it like 2 months that I was just really bad, maybe a little longer. It was hard for me to study scriptures. It was hard for me to do any kind of real kind of study and thinking about my Savior and thinking about all the things that He's done for me and study that. It was just, I couldn't even barely read. The steroids made the pages jump out, and I was just, my mind, I just wasn't there. But I remember the only thing I could do was pray. I prayed a lot. Often. And I prayed really often sitting on the toilet. You know, because what was coming out of me was dangerous. It could hurt me and harm me, and it was wanting to kill me. And I remember praying every time and saying, Heavenly Father, I don't have anything to give except my faith and my trust. And you got me, right? You got me. I need you to carry me, because I don't have anything, I don't know what to give. And every time I felt Him have me. There were times where I just heard in my mind's ears, I heard Him say, you bet I got you. I got you. I got you. I felt that so often amidst the turmoil. And if I leave this, not allowing that gift to change me, that would be tragic.
And stay with you.
And stay with me. Stay with me permanently, to where I can always know He has me. He didn't just have me because I had cancer. He's always had me.
And He always will. So like, how do you become the kind of person where your automatic response is, oh yeah, God's got me in that thing?
Yeah, it's been amazing. So
because I've experienced it.
Yeah, for a long time before I had cancer, I've had some really bad anxiety for the last few years that I was getting a lot better, like 6 to 8 months before I came down with cancer. We actually think this is the reason why my cancer finally started growing, was because of my panic attacks and my anxiety. And it's interesting, when I came down with cancer and I went down that path, my anxiety went away. Mm-hmm. He took that from me. I was more stressed before I had cancer than during. That's a gift. Mm-hmm. And if I don't allow that to be a message from Him, right, a reminder for the rest of my life, you know what, I got you. Everything is really gonna actually be okay. Nothing's, the world's not gonna fall apart. Your world's not gonna fall apart. And even if it does, guess what?
I still got you.
I still got you. And everything's gonna be okay.
Yeah.
In my career, after 17 years in my career, every time a problem pops up, I don't need to stress about it, because guess what? Everything's gonna be okay. He's proven it to me over and over and over again. He's shown me evidence. And so if you don't
my question is, how does that stick?
Yeah, how does that stick?
It's very clear right now to Matt.
Yeah.
But then what kinds of things can we put into our lives? Mantras or habits, or
so that I know that a year from now, 2 years from now, literally our character changes.
Yeah.
Literally our character and our perspective changes.
Yeah.
And shifts in a permanent manner, right?
But that doesn't happen just because you experience something a few times.
Mm-mm. Even something huge Right? We just so you know.
To think about.
So, in answer to Mindy's question about can an event change you, I don't think so. I think events are catalysts to change, and I think that the only person that changes you is you, and the Savior helps you along. So I think you change from you and God more than the actual events change you. People have choices, and sometimes we can feel like we don't, but we do, right? For the most part, there are extreme circumstances where people are stuck in situations where they don't, but even then, you know, we can talk about Nazi, you know, concentration camps. We can talk about the hiding place and finding hope in horrible situations, right? It really is about mindset and choices.
So those are our musings along with our great celebration of things are getting better. We love you guys. We're grateful that you are even caring to watch this video.
Thanks for watching.
And know about our lives.
We love you, and I know that a lot of you would love to call, and you can, by the way. You can call anytime, but I know that a lot of you wait for these videos for the updates, and we don't do them as often as we should have. So we're glad that we're really grateful that people sit down and take 16 minutes out of their day. But we'll let you go. 16 minutes is long enough. We love y'all. Bye-bye.
Bye.